Thanks for joining the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Today we are discussing your best bets for the week of March 24th. We're talking NCAA tournament. We're talking MLB futures picks, and even maybe a little soccer. With that, we will catch you guys on the flip side.
Do you like fantasy football and sports betting? Come join us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, where hosts Matt, Shane, and Jason talk about fantasy players, lineups, and sports betting to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
Welcome back to another episode of the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Matt, Shane, and Jason with you guys tonight on this lovely, lovely evening. And yes, if I don't look familiar, I'm still here. It's been a while. We've had the flu just spread through the house like wildfire. But Shane and Jason, how are you two doing on this lovely evening?
I am doing great, and we were so excited to have you back. We didn't put music in the intro, so yeah, you know, that's a thing that happened. Yeah, we're great. It's great to have you back, man.
Yeah, no, it's weird to see your face again, but you still look beautiful. Hey, glad to be back. It was a wild end to last week with March Madness kicking off, and Matt and Shane, you know our favorite time of the year is right around the corner with Masters Weekend coming up. So, hey, we got a interesting sports betting agenda ahead of us.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. Like, fortunately, even though Shane and Jason held down the fort the last two episodes, something like that, I have been able to keep up with some March Madness and the college basketball tournament. So that's been nice. But yeah, it's just been a wild last few weeks for me. It's just been nuts. It sucks that it all hit at the same time, but hopefully it's all through and we will be good for the rest of this season, except now it's allergy season. So, but yeah, it's great to be back. It's great to be back in front of the computer here and talk to you gents about betting. So we, like Shane said at the beginning, we have NCAA bets. Shane's may or may not dibble dabble in some soccer bets. And then these boys here are going to go at it with some MLB. Guys, remember, if you want to check out the show, head on over to YouTube. We are live right now. Go to Fantasy Six Pack's YouTube channel. Click that subscribe button, that notification bell now, so it lets you know every time we go live. Okay? We're going to keep doing our thing here. Head on over to fantasysixpack.net. Use promo code Parlay FF to get 15 or 20% off. Which one is it? 15 or 20, Shane? I believe it is 15%. But anyhow, you get a discount over there. So fantasysixpack.net, use promo code Parlay FF. Guys, the NFL draft is right around the corner. And I know here before too long, we're going to start getting into a little bit of dynasty fantasy football, maybe a little rookie mock draft here and there, right? Sprinkle it in. So we're going to be getting after that as well. So make sure you're tuning into that. Head on over to Apple Podcast, Spotify. That is where the audio side of the podcast is. And that is still Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Hit the subscribe, follow button. 5-star review really does help out the show. We are here for you guys. So yeah.
Now we get riffing there. You were riffing there, and it is 15%.
15%.
15. It's in our description. If you get lost, you know, you can just go copy that thing right in to Fantasy Six Pack and get that 15% off. Make sure, you know, just Control-C, Control-V. It's fine.
So how do you guys want to do this tonight? Do you guys want to jump in and recap some NCAA, or you want to jump into bets?
Listen, I have to announce and say an apology. If you tailed our underdog bet, I'm sorry. I let everybody down. I let the team down. We went 3 of 4, and I was the one that failed us. So I'm sorry. Yale was not the winners. Okay. Everybody else was fine, but Yale was not. I'm sad. It's fine.
You're a man for doing that, because a real man is gonna own it. Fake ones don't. And yes, You were the reason it did not hit. But at the same time, it's go big or go home.
We hit 3 of 8
Yeah.
underdogs that won though. So like that's impressive.
Nice.
Like 20, it was 28. It was 28-6, or no, 28-8 was what the total like favorites versus underdogs. Right. We were correct on 3 of the 8 though. So like that's pretty impressive. Again, sad that Yale couldn't get it done. They are in the game. They just lost juice in the second half. That just happens to those smaller teams.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I think this is one of the very seldom years that it's been where a dog hasn't come through in a while, or at least just cover the bet. A lot of these favorites this past week and for the opening 2 rounds covered, and they covered big, to where I haven't looked at the recap for Vegas, but I know a lot of people were underwhelmed with the Cinderella story and whatnot. We had McNeese winning, but unfortunately they couldn't make it to the Sweet 16. And now I think the lowest seed that we have going into the Sweet 16 is Arkansas.
6 seed. 10
Arkansas
seed. 10
being
seed.
a
Arkansas.
10 seed. But Arkansas is not even a 10 seed.
No, they're
the fakest 10 seed out there, and they are one of the hottest teams in college basketball.
Let me ask you this, because like you guys just kind of said it, man. Like, again, I haven't been, on the podcast with these guys for the last couple of weeks, but I have listened to a little bit of the shows that they did put out. This NCAA tournament has been very lame, right? We had Colorado State that surprised some people. They won 2 games. Like you guys said, McNeese State. But other than that, like it's been pretty chalky. Like it's been pretty, Florida had a scare last week, but it's been pretty chalky.
Oh, and like you said earlier, I think we finally got the best game of March Madness yesterday with the buzzer beater shot with Maryland.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, yes. I think that's the best game we've had, to where we've had a little bit of drama and some scare factor, to where, cool, we expect more of that in these kind of situations, though. We just haven't gotten it yet.
And like I said, the Florida UConn scare, even though UConn was an 8 seed, UConn is the 2-time defending NCAA champion. So it's not like they can just have they been great all season? No, they haven't. But when it comes to the NCAA tournament, that's a different breed of basketball. It's like your NFL playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So that one was a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Also, additionally, fuck UConn. That 3-pointer at the end of the game is literally what cost me a parlay win. So I'm all sorts of salty with the pointless 3 at the end of the game that pushed the over and Florida spread. So you know what? Fuck you, UConn. Oh, hold on. Somebody commented in the chat. What's up, Jamie? We are talking about bouncy ball.
Our guy.
Yeah. I didn't even see you in here, Jamie. What's up, bro? But yeah, Jay, do you want to kick it off, since you had the 2 dogs that barked?
Yeah. You just want to go? We're going to start with our NCAA games that we like.
Oh yeah. NCAA, okay, and cool. then we'll roll to the fun stuff. We'll roll to the best bet. The best bet.
So I'm gonna be pretty conservative this week, honestly, with these games, just because you all know we like our dogs, and we're gonna try to find the best line. It's hard to pick a dog right now, so I'm gonna kind of go with the flow until we start seeing some of those expected higher seeds go up against each other. Then we can play around a little bit. But my first one, I think we're all on this game, but my lock of this Sweet 16 is going to be the Houston under 132.5 against Purdue. Purdue is going to be the best team that they face. Houston's defense ranks 2nd in the nation. Purdue is going to out-rebound them a little bit, but I think Houston is going to put this into a half-court game, and they're going to slow it down, and they're going to make it hard for Purdue to score. So give me Houston. I also do like Houston to cover that 7.5, just like what I said. It's the best team. Purdue is going to go up. They played High Point, and they played McNeese. Now they're up against I think the number 2 national ranked team in this tournament. So give me Houston all the way right there. The next one, the last game I'm going to go with for the Sweet 16. And if I do like any other games, guys, I'm just going to throw that out there. I will post some on X for y'all. So these are just the 3 plays that I want to give out right now. Give me Ole Miss right now to cover the 3.5 versus Michigan State. Michigan State, I didn't like the way that they played the other day right now, and Ole Miss is hot. I'm strong on the SEC this year. They are the best conference that is in college basketball right now. I'm going to stick with them from top to bottom. I think they're going to make this game close. Give me the 3.5, and I'm like a little upset city. So I know I said I'm not going to go with the dogs, but I like a dog right here to keep the game close. That's all I got. That's all I got for now. Yeah.
That is a spicy pick. Ole Miss to cover the short number is wild. I'm not gonna lie.
Give me it. I'm going with the hotter team.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Sparty is really diabolically good, especially interior. Jace Richardson is a freaking stud as a freshman. So, yeah, I like it. I think that the SEC is really good until a team can slow them down. I think Sparty may be able to do that. Let me go ahead and give out my picks. Jason, you drilled the nail on the head with Houston -7.5. That was one of my picks as well. I think Purdue is not that good. They play through one player, and that player has gotten to bully back-to-back teams because he's been bigger as a power forward than the other players on the court. That will not happen with Houston. Houston has the bigs. They can bang. They play aggressive. They play fast. They're also willing to slow it down and just let those big guys eat. So I think Houston definitely gets it done, covers the 7.5, and take that ball straight onto the Elite Eight. My other play is Florida -6.5. Look, Maryland is a dominant team. I'm not going to lie. They are. However, I'm playing this based off of what I think is an interesting small sample. Teams advancing rounds off of a buzzer beater are 1-3 straight up and ATS. I am going to take Florida to cover the number because Maryland had to throw up a Hail Mary versus Colorado State just to get by the 12 seed.
Or walk their way.
And walk. But also another fun fact is that favorites of 6 or more are 28-5 in the last 3 years of the NCAA tournament. So, another thing. But really, I just wanted to use the buzzer beater thing. So, also, I forgot to mic myself. Hi, I'm over here. Matt, I think you're up with NCAA now.
Yeah. All right. So I got 3 NCAA picks, but 2 of them I'm on the same side with Shane, and one of them I'm on the same side with Jason. Listen, Houston is a dominant team. They're a team that can win the national title. Purdue, these guys already reiterated to it. They're going to face a Houston team that haven't faced as far as talent-wise goes. I feel like Houston's just going to dominate this game from top to bottom. Roberts, Cryer, those guys are just going to eat and feast against this Purdue team. So I'm taking Houston here. The next game, guys, is Florida. Shane just talked about it. They're playing a Maryland team that just beat a Colorado State 12 seed barely after traveling and didn't get called, right? It was a buzzer beater. Great team. Shane alluded to it. Maryland is dominating right now. They do bring that strength factor. We do realize that Florida just barely beat UConn, but just like I said a few minutes ago, UConn is a 2-time defending national champion for NCAA, right? They're going to be a tough team to beat. So Florida didn't really even play that well, but if you watch the progression of them throughout the season, they were a very dominant team, right? They were ranked in the top 5 going into this NCAA tournament. I feel like they're going to get back on track, and I don't necessarily know or feel confident they're going to dominate Maryland, but I do feel like they are going to beat Maryland and cover the number.
Yeah. The other thing that I will say is that UConn was a terrible matchup for the Gators.
Right.
As far as stylistically, a horrible matchup. It was one of the worst things that they could have done. The conference or the bracket committee could have done was put this game on the docket for them. They did so.
Yes.
So Florida getting by UConn in this spot is a major win. And I think that it's pretty prevalent here in what is a similar style game that you're going to watch. The better of the two similar styles walk away with this game pretty easily.
Yeah, 100%. In my last game, guys, I'm taking Alabama -4.5 against BYU. Alabama is a very sneaky, strong team. I know that they're a 2 seed in the tournament, but you don't really hear a lot about them. And Spears and company are a very sneaky, fast team that if you're not careful, they are going to get away from you, and they're going to get away from you fast. Now, I have been a BYU fan since about the middle of the year. These guys came out of nowhere. They didn't play great, started the year out. Saunders and company started dominating in the Big 12, beating the brakes off of some Big 12 teams that you wouldn't imagine, and keeping it close with the best of the best. They've looked good in the NCAA tournament, but I feel like they're going to run out of gas a little bit here against this Alabama team. I think they'll be able to keep up with them at least for a half, and then I just feel like the depth of Alabama is going to take over. BYU is not a deep team. They are not a deep team. They feel confident with 7 to 8 players, but it's really their core 5 that keep them in games. So I'm looking for Alabama to kind of run away with this. America's got a 67% chance of win probability for Alabama. I like that number a little bit less, but I like Alabama -4.5. I just think that they're going to prove that they are worthy to be here, because I know that there were some doubters, at least the second game in, where it was close. But I think they're going to show their dominance here. I know they have more length, they've got more speed, and they've got probably about the similar shooting style people between their guards. But if BYU doesn't can a lot of threes, this isn't going to be a close game. So I'm going to take Alabama -4.5.
I like that a lot. I have Bama winning one of my brackets, Matt. So I like you saying they're going to pull this game off pretty handily. Jason, do you want me to do my solo best bet pick before we get into our MLB showdown?
Yeah, give me your best bet for the week.
All righty. My best bet for this week is called an anti-homer pick. And it's that Sporting Kansas City is the laughing stock of the MLS. We are on match day 8. Sporting has 1 point. They have 1 draw in 7 games. So they are 0-1-6. Because in soccer, you say the draws in the middle. FC Dallas is an adequate team. They have to have more than enough to beat Sporting KC. In fact, when they played a friendly earlier in the year, they beat Sporting 3-2. Sporting has not fared well at all, including beating a university team 1-0 in a friendly. And they have one of the worst goal differentials at -14 I've ever seen through 1 month of the season. So go ahead and allow me to say Sporting, figure it out or get out. Like, one of the two needs to happen. I'm okay with relegation at this point. If we could introduce a relegation to the MLS, Sporting would be gonzo, because this team just does not have it. FC Dallas at a money lineup -125 is criminal. I don't know what the books are doing here. They're asleep at the wheel. So yeah, this is the play of the week for me.
I guess nobody's betting MLS soccer this early in the season with everything going on.
Yeah, there's too much going on. Everyone's like, I get it. Trust me. This was more of, the writing was on the wall here, man. This is just free money, in my opinion.
Okay, perfect. Hey, guys, we're going to move on to our MLB best bets for the upcoming season. I think Shade and I have a couple. Matt, I know you're not the big baseball guy here, so you want Shane and I to hold it down?
Yes, hold it down. Hold it down tight.
Shane, I'm going to start off. I'm going to give a pick right now. Then I'm debating on going a long shot MVP, because I know you have an MVP, right?
Yes, I do. I hadn't said it, but yes, I do have one.
Okay, yes. All right. So I'm gonna give I guess I have a rookie of the year and I have a long shot MVP. So I'm just gonna give I'm gonna give them both. Screw it. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. So my rookie of the year is for the AL. I'm going Jason Dominguez for the New York Yankees. He's going to be their starter on opening day. He is going to be protected in that lineup, and he's got a short porch in left and right field. And I think all the MLB really cares about is home runs. And this dude's got plenty of pop right now. And I know, Shane, you're shaking your head.
I know. I don't disagree with you.
Either.
It pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but he's going to be protected in this short ballpark of Yankee Stadium, and they're going to be somewhat of a decent team this year. I know Cole went down, but all that matters is for him to get ABs and to stay healthy. And if he is going to be the opening day starter, I like Jason Dominguez. I hate that he's the favorite for the AL, but I don't know of any rookie hype in the AL as big as his. I know that there's more rookie hype in the NL this year. So I like his number at plus 425 going into this season. Then for my long shot, I'm going to do it just because of the name brand. And it's going to be kind of gross for some of y'all out there, but give me Mike Trout at plus 2,200. Mike Trout is finally healthy. Finally. We'll see how long that lasts. If he can stay healthy and he can put up decent numbers, the MLB isn't like any other big sport like basketball or football. If your team sucks, it doesn't matter. You can still win the MVP. And I think if Trout does what he does, puts up 45 plus home runs and bats 280 with an OPS over 1,000, he'll be fine. And it's Aaron Judge's to lose, but you don't get very many back-to-back MVPs like you did back in the day. I like Trout. He's got the name brand, and he's won it before. Give me Trout at plus 2,200 for the value.
Yeah, I get that. The biggest gripe I have is when the fuck is he going to put together a healthy season, Jason?
I know.
Because I want to see it so bad.
Cringe.
I do. But like, oh, man, it's hard to bet on the health there. Now, speaking of health, the NL MVP has a lot of, interesting players who have had some serious questions behind them at the top, and that's Shohei. That's Juan Soto. We all know that Shohei is considered the greatest player right now in baseball. So, there's no need to wax poetic about it. However, he does have a history of injury, and he did tear his UCL not too long ago. Don't wish any of this bad stuff on any player, but if it were to be anybody, hopefully it's the Dodgers. Mookie Betts is up there too. Bryce Harper, perennially injured guy as well, although he is the Iron Man recently. You know who I just keep scrolling down the list to, and that is Ellie De La Cruz, Jason. Give me Ellie on what I think is a very underrated Reds team. I think that they will make enough splash to allow him to get the press, to get the additional, push in the right direction. I think that one interesting thing is since they play on such a short porch, that he could have some surprising home run numbers. And I think that they could take it, it'll take advantage. It'll continue to boost the metric his way. And if, we have some injuries or if he outperforms what's expected, that third year bump, we saw Bobby do it. We saw Shohei get it. Like it's real in the MLB. I think this could be Ellie's season to have that bump, the second/third year bump. So
you know what also is going for you with that pick is that he loves to steal bases.
He does, and he's one of the most entertaining players in baseball. And I think that also helps the narrative. Like it's going to drive the narrative. It's someone you want to root for. I don't know. I think it makes sense. It's a changing of the guard situation. You had Ohtani, which is changing the guard. You have Ellie, which could be a continuation of the changing of the guard. And also it's not from one of the big three teams in the NL. So I think that also helps. So that's my MLB long shot. My other futures pick is a fun one for me because I honestly was not prepared to be able to say this with any sort of confidence, with any sort of realm of fanhood. But within like at least 4 years down the line, was my projected outcome for this. But we're here. The Royals to win the AL Central is one of my best picks for this year. Plus 340 is criminal. So let's just say that not only is it a value play, that number is obscene. They will probably offer you some sort of cash out bet by the end of the year, but you're also betting on what is preseason wise second in MVP for the AL, Bobby Witt Jr., third in Cy Young with Cole Reagans, and then on the list of the top 20, you have Waka and Seth Lugo as the start of your rotation. They have plenty of talent in the minor league system to make some interesting moves later on in the year if things actually get spicy for them and they show life like they did last year. You know, this team that made the MLB playoffs last year and took the Yankees to a pretty decent series. Why are you getting plus 340 for them to win a division? That's just criminal. Go ahead, print me the money slip. I'll see you guys at the token bar later. It's fine.
Yeah,
I like
it. Not a homer pick, but it's
okay. It feels. I know it feels homery. I'm wearing a Royals hat. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I was not ready to say this had it been not for what I saw last year and the growth of this team and what the moves that they've actually made to make this, make this possible. And so I'll wear it with a badge of honor.
Hey, real quick, I know we weren't planning on doing this, but I'm gonna bring it up and we can do this. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
Do you want to do a dog parlay? Can we each pick a team for a dog parlay for the Sweet 16? Do you want to bring it back? Or can we find something that y'all like? Because I like Ole Miss.
Yeah, I like Ole Miss as well. I mean,
any other team that you could see winning? Maybe Kentucky.
I was like, Kentucky was who I was going to say. Tennessee, yeah. Rick Barnes. You're telling me Rick Barnes is going to win 3 games in the row in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, that's what Kentucky. I'm saying. He doesn't have that swagger. He don't have that juice.
The man was 4-12 coming into this year, going into the NCAA tournament. I've been hoping for Tennessee's downfall for the entirety of this playoff, but for the entirety of this bracket. I see Kentucky being able to take that.
I have Kentucky winning this game in my bracket.
I actually do too.
Oh, really? I have Tennessee.
It's just
my issue is Rick Barnes.
Game.
It's coach. It's the coach and the fact that this Kentucky team is much better than what their record shows because
I agree.
It was a completely revamped team. Like there wasn't a single player on that roster that was there last year. So I think that like they get hot, you get scared as an opponent looking down the barrel at these guys.
If I had to take a long shot, and this is a massive long shot,
Arkansas.
If you say Arizona, no, throw up.
I am going to say Arizona. Like, and the only reason why I say this is because obviously Cooper Flagg, best player in the nation, yada, yada, yada. If for some reason you can put him at bay, teams can beat Duke. So if Arizona can figure out a way to put Cooper Flagg at bay, I mean, look at the games that Duke played when Cooper Flagg was injured.
Cooper Flagg up the pole, you mean?
Yeah. They didn't. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying that they were not a good team. They still are a very good team, but it was a much closer matchup when Cooper Flagg was injured those 2 weeks.
I guess the only downside of it is he is playing.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like he's not hurt whatsoever, which is insane.
He looks like Superman.
The only thing I do like about that is Caleb Love is a dog.
He is a dog.
For Arizona.
Yes. Arizona's a scrappy team.
Arizona's really good. I actually have this game split in my bracket. I have Arizona winning 1 game and I have Duke winning 1 game. So
if we're gonna put one out there for the fam for the dog parlay, what are we gonna do?
I'm gonna take Arizona since you took Ole Miss because I like the Ole Miss play.
Sam, will you calculate it?
I got it up.
It's gonna be
I got it up.
It's gonna be a lot.
It's not like what ours was last week. Last week it was 11,000, Matt. This week it is. Oh, also I didn't tell you guys my pick. My pick is the University of Kentucky over Tennessee. You know what, Jason? I'm really tempted to just roll it back with Arkansas.
I don't hate that because I kind of want to switch mine to Arkansas.
Is Thero
against the hometown team?
The only reason why I was a little bit more hesitant is because Thero, is he still out? Is he injured?
For who?
Arkansas's like bruiser number. Is something Thero, I think is his name. He didn't play last week. So that's the only reason that I was a little bit more hesitant. And dude, Jay Toppin and Williams, they are forwards that play like guards.
He was out. He was out for these past 2 games.
Bro, if he doesn't play, I don't know that they're going to beat Texas Tech. Texas Tech is fast and scrappy, bro.
All right, then I'm going to stick with Ole Miss. Screw it.
I don't, and it's not that I don't hate the play. Like if he was playing, I would be way more.
I think it's a worse matchup I think St. John's, yes, as upset, it was a bad matchup for St. John's going against Arkansas, who can score.
Right.
Tech
and a lot of it
score is bigger.
And a lot of it's conference too, right? Arkansas plays in the toughest conference in the NCAA, one of the 2 anyways, and St. John's plays in the Big East where there's not those powerhouse teams anymore.
Shane, what do you got for the number? All right, the number is pretty easy. It is 2,698, and that is Arizona, Kentucky, and Ole Miss as the upset underdog plays of the week. That would be a $10 bet to win you $269. 269 or not to 69 is what the question is, fellas.
I'm hitting it. I'm hitting that, son. Oh, man. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up today's episode of the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Again, I'm so happy to be back with my boys here, and hopefully no one else gets sick. Hopefully no one gets sick in your guys' houses because it is not fun. And don't forget to go over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, check out the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, click the subscribe button, hit a 5-star review, guys. It really does help the show. And then head on over to Fantasy Six Pack YouTube, where you guys can catch us live and where all of our video stuff of the podcast goes out. It's over here on the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube. Click the subscribe, the notification bell, so you guys can be notified when we do go live. FantasySixPack.net. Use promo code Parlay FF to get 15% off of your all-access membership. Guys, the draft is right around the corner, and we are going to start really diving into Dynasty football and rookie drafts here shortly. So don't forget to check those out. Let's keep these train wheels moving north. Let's build the brand. Let's build the show. Jason, Shane, y'all know what to do.
Down with the sickness, hit the subscribe button, and also the like button if you're down with the sickness.
Hey, have a good week, y'all. Enjoy the Sweet 16 and the madness that's going on.
That's right, guys. Stay tuned for Masters coming up and the rest of the NCAA tournament. We love you all to the moon and back. And until next time, peace out.